Hello, my name is Khadija Kirksey and I am the president of the Rainbow Alliance for the 2013-2014 school year. The Rainbow Alliance is our glbtqa, gay, lesbian, bisexual, transgender, queer, questioning, and ally organization at Wright State University. The Rainbow Alliance is one of the 6 biggest organizations on campus, which means that we have one of the largest impacts at Wright State University. We serve to educate, advocate, and entertain our community and our allies. The Rainbow Alliance is a safe space for anyone who is questioning their sexuality, for anyone who has just come out, for anyone who has yet to come out, for anyone who's been an open and out member of the community for as long as possible. We want to make sure that everyone can be a part of our movement. We work with other organizations and collaborate with them to affect the inclusivity here on campus. We also try to affect policy change and generally mold Wright State University as an educational and inclusive organization and campus. Today's meeting is going to be about international life and being within the LGBTQ community. Coming up very soon is our 10th annual drag review. And hosting our drag review this year is the most incredible Chandler. So we had our new photo shoot last week and it was great.
We're still accepting submissions for the Rainbow Banner, and if you want to submit anything creative, send it to the Rainbow Banner at gmail.com. Unless you wanted it submitted anonymously, then send it to Meredith.
We're going to talk about trans women and sex. There's a map, and they update it fairly frequently. This one's from May 2013. And basically what it does, it brings together around 750 LGBT and intersex groups across the world, and they look at the world and they're like, so how nice are you to same-sex couples?
My name is Antonia and I identify as a masculine ascender lesbian. And I'm here to tell you that it gets better. I came out my junior year of high school, and it was really hard for me because I came from a Black Christian military family, and in all those communities, being homosexual is a no-go. And basically, I came out the day after Christmas to my family. My dad, he didn't really have anything to say about it because he's a military man, you know, strictly don't ask, don't tell. And my mom, that's where the Christian side comes from, and she didn't want to hear it, she didn't believe it. And me and her had a lot of ups and downs because of it. But the one person in my family that stuck by me the most was my sister. No matter what, she had my back. She's had my back my entire life. And she probably gave me the best advice anyone can give me, is to remember that I'm a human being and never let anybody dehumanize me because of who I love and how I decide to express myself. And it's really great to have a support system, but not everyone has that. And sometimes you have to be your own support system. But it does get better. My family came around. They love me and accept me for who I am. And I'm here to tell you that never forget that you're a human being and never let anyone dehumanize you for who you are.
Hi, my name's Ashley and I am a lesbian, and I'm here to tell you it gets better. I came out to my family. At first I came out to my mom. I sent a text message that was supposed to go to my ex-girlfriend, but instead it got sent to my mom. So she found out that way. And then the second time I came out to my whole family over Thanksgiving dinner. I actually went outside to smoke a cigarette with my 2 favorite aunts, and I showed them a picture of my current girlfriend, who I am marrying in like 6 months. And I showed them a picture. I said, I gotta show you something. This is my girlfriend. And my aunt looked at me and she goes, "Oh, so you're coming out now to us, huh?" She said that my grandma asked 3 years ago, "Does Ashley know she's a lesbian yet?" And my aunt Sheila looked at her and says, "No, but I'm pretty sure she'll figure it out." And the happiest memory that I have is the fact that when I did tell my dad, we were eating dinner and I told him, it got brought up, so I told him, "Yeah, Dad, I'm a lesbian." And he's like, "Well, it's okay, I still love you, you will always be my daughter." The saddest moment and the saddest memory I have is that my younger sister does not accept me. She does not like my current girlfriend. And that does get hard because it does bring up conflict. The greatest advice anybody ever gave me way before I even started coming out, I was going to the mask, I was being a drag king, but I kept saying I was straight. My best friend, he told me that what's the point in even going out or doing anything if you're hiding who you are? Be happy, be who you are. And so that's what led me to coming out to begin with. It was his advice: stop hiding who you are, be happy. Because I was so cramped up and just trying to play straight for my parents because I was scared that they were going to disown me or reject me and kick me completely out of their lives. But then after I took his advice, after I came out, I realized how much my parents really love me, how much my family really has my back, and it doesn't matter to them because I didn't change. My whole personality, my whole essence of who I am never changed just because I came out and said I love girls. I've been attracted to them my whole life. Why should I hide that? And so that was the greatest advice anybody ever gave me. But it does get better. You have to always remember and rely on the support of your whole gay family, because everybody who is gay, we always have each other's backs. Like, you can lean on them, ask them questions. They will help you get through harder times. And then also, you have to remember that you're still a person, that there's nothing wrong with you. So that's another thing, like your family, who we call the gay family, will help you through. The hardest part is that not everybody will accept you, and that the world does get hard, but it will get better in the end. Everything works out. Hopefully, it's 2014 now. Hopefully a few years down the road, everybody will be more like used to it, because there are more people coming out every day. So just remember, it gets better, that everything will get better.
Hi, my name's Tawny, and I'm a lesbian, and I'm here to tell you that it gets better. When I came out, basically with my mom told me that I was gay, and she's 100% supportive of everything, for the fact that, you know, me and Ashley have been together for 3 years now, and we plan to get married later this year. And she's 100% there for me. She's helping me plan the wedding and everything. My mom is wonderful. My dad, on the other hand, isn't really 100% supportive of it. He supports me because I am his daughter. I mean, when I was growing up, he used to tell me all the time, "Why don't you just be gay? That way I don't have to worry about boys." And then I come out being gay, and he's very standoffish about it. He told me not to tell my grandma, and then after my grandpa passed away, I ended up coming out to my grandma. And my grandma loves me, my dad still loves me no matter what. They don't necessarily know that we're getting married yet, but they'll find out sooner or later. I mean, everybody in my family is very supportive of it. It is difficult for some people when they're coming out. They don't have the support of their family. But most of my family has been supportive through all of it. My grandma even put a picture of Ashley up on her wall, so that means a lot. The happiest moment I had to be when my mom, like, she just straight up told me that I was gay. And then when Ashley came to live with us, we took her to Thanksgiving dinner with her family. And as me and my mom were leaving, she looked at me and said, Ashley can move in, she can stay as long as she wants, I don't care, as long as you guys are happy, nothing goes on, that'll be okay. So that's gotta be the happiest memory, is when my mom asked me for my girlfriend to move in with me. The saddest was probably having to hide it from my grandpa. He was my best friend through everything, but he was not supportive of gay people at all. Every time Ellen came on the TV, he would turn it off. And, you know, he could never be there for me the way that he could if I wasn't with a girl. But even when stuff like that happens, you gotta remember that it does get better. There are people out there that will love you and will care for you and support you through no matter what. And the fact that you just have to remember that, you know, life's too short to hide who you are. You might as well just, you know, be you, be happy. Don't hide anymore. Just say, hey, I'm here, this is who I am. There's no reason to, like, drown yourself in the sorrows of being who you are. Just forget that everyone's here for you. The people you would never expect to accept you more than likely will. I just want to let you guys know it does get better.
My name is Josie Cornelson. I identify as a lesbian, and I'm here to tell you that it does get better. When I was 13 years old, I came out to my father, and then my siblings after that, and then my mother. And after I told my mother, I came out to my friends. I kind of did it all on an individual basis. The happiest memory I have, probably a lot of memories all wrapped into one, is just building my relationships up. I've been able to fully be myself around people, and just everything has kind of stemmed from me coming out, as far as everything in my life like falling into place. Advice, I was just told to be myself, and I mean, you are who you are, it's just how it happens. And if that's being gay, that's you, then do it to the fullest. But things have gotten better since I came out. Like I said before, my relationships all build up. I've just been me, and everybody loves me for who I am. So I'm here to tell you that it does get better. Life gets easier, and at some point everything will fall into place.
Hi, my name is Liz Shopway. I identify as queer, and I'm here to tell you it gets better. I am out. I'm out to everyone and anyone who asks. When I came out, I was scared. I was really scared at first. I didn't know what was going on. I just knew that I had a lot of feelings, and they were all directed towards women, and so I was really nervous about that. And at first I came out as bisexual, and I came out to a couple of my friends. But then I realized that wasn't really how I wanted to identify, because I didn't really feel any emotions towards men, so I identified as a lesbian. And then I realized, well, sexuality's on a continuum, and it can move around, even though I don't foresee mine ever moving around. But I wanted to recognize that, so I now identify as queer, which is just a very nice overarching term, and I really like it because it's so vague that people really don't know what you are. So sometimes they ask, and it could be awkward. When I came out to my parents, I went home one Sunday just to do it, and my dad was washing dishes, and my mom was sitting there, and she's like, "So why'd you come home this fine Sunday?" And I was like, "Well," so I told them, and my dad stopped washing dishes for a moment, and he looked at me and he was like, okay, can I go back to washing dishes? And my mom just sat there staring at me like she didn't know who I was anymore. And she didn't really say much that afternoon. She ended up leaving the house, and she didn't come back until I had gone back to college that day. But my dad had asked me questions, mostly about religion. I grew up very religious. But it wasn't a welcoming environment, but they still loved me, and they weren't going to kick me out, so I'm luckier than a lot of people. But struggling with my parents became a really big part of my life, and I didn't always like that it was like that, but I feel really confident in who I am, and I love the community that I'm involved with, and so I couldn't let that part just be completely ignored. And my greatest support throughout the entire process was probably my friends group at Wright State, and they were just always there for me. Even when I was like, I don't really know how I should identify, they were there. Happiest memory I have, I was in Costa Rica for a semester, and I had felt so closeted the whole time because I didn't want to come out to my host family because they had a 17-year-old daughter, and they're like, well, we don't have boys be in our host family because we have a 17-year-old daughter. And I'm like, well, shoot, I love women, and I hope they don't want to think of me in that type of way. And so near the end of the semester, I went to a gay club, and I was just surrounded by all these gay people dancing, and it was a drag show, and I never felt more happy to be home with my community. And after 4 months of being so closeted, to come and see Costa Rica and see the diversity that it still had, it was beautiful. The saddest memory I have would probably actually be this Christmas break. Me and my mom got in a really big yelling match where she basically told me she didn't have a gay daughter, and I told her, you're right, Mom, you have a queer daughter. That's how I identify. And she didn't like that. But there was a lot of crying, a lot of anger there. But the greatest advice I ever received was just be happy, be you, and find your happiness within that. And the greatest advice I'd ever want to hear is, no one can tell you how you identify. No one can tell you you're this because of this, this, and this. It's something you find on your own. It's something you sometimes research, sometimes look at other people's stories and see how they line up with yours, and you're like, oh yeah, that sounds like me. But it's something that someone can't give you. They can't give you a label. So yeah, I think it's better.
I'm here to tell you that it gets better.
I'm here to tell you it gets better.
It gets better.
It gets better.
It gets better.
I think it's better.